Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast for today, Thursday, September 24th, 2015. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. The Nevis Island Administration, through its Ministry of Finance, Statistics and Economic Planning, today hosted its 9th annual consultation on the economy. The session, held at the Nevis Performing Arts Centre, invited representatives of the public and private sectors to address the importance of an effective policy framework that promotes resilient growth, capacity development in entrepreneurship and human capital, and the sustenance of the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment CBI program. Permanent Secretary Colin Dorr gave an overview of the consultation.
This annual exercise is a critical aspect in the budget preparation process, as it facilitates and provides the opportunity for comprehensive dialogue and discussion through the soliciting of ideas from you, our partners, as we seek to develop a national plan for moving forward in a sustainable way. Today's session will seek to provide a framework for development that will harmonize the policies of the administration with the plans of you, our private sector partners, as we seek to continue to develop that atmosphere for continued growth and development in our economy.
The theme of today's consultation was Framing the New Economy, Inspiring Human Progress and Economic Resilience. Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Vance Amory, gave the feature address.
And the new economy I want to suggest to us this morning will more and more focus on increased services, hospitality services, support services for the tourism industry, and where possible, looking at the development of the new technology, which will also underpin and support that services industry. The new economy will also look at the new energy policy, renewable energy. We have to frame a new approach. We have to ensure that our people are prepared to accept the challenge of the new approach. And we as government provide the incentives in terms of training, in terms of opportunity, in terms of legislative framework.
The keynote speaker was economist Dr. Vanessa James, who discussed the topic Fostering Economic Resilience.
Don't believe that if you educate us to the level where you have our levels, you're ready to go. You have to have the kind of training capabilities on the ground here in Nevis and St. Kitts and the Eastern Caribbean generally that would allow you to be as good as everybody else, funded by the initiatives you undertake. So how is that possible? The fundamental answer to that question that the research shows is simply this. You are going to have to find a way to build an education system that is capable of exporting education. So it gets to be so good that it can not only attract the rest of the world to come here to go to school, but also will leave spare change to educate your own people properly and achieve the quality in that product, that export, that the IMF is talking about in the IMF Adjustment Program.
Making presentations on the subject of inspiring human progress were Education Planner Dr. Neva Pemberton, Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET Coordinator Orrit Smith, and Director of Social Services Sandra Maynard. Addressing the way forward for the CBI program were former Financial Secretary in the Federal Ministry of Finance and Special Advisor to the Prime Minister Wendell Lawrence, and private sector representatives lawyers Dr. Ken Ballantyne and Jackie Hunkins-Taylor. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's inaugural visit to St. Kitts and Nevis highlights a major strategic approach of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis's foreign policy outlook of boosting relations with friends while simultaneously forging new alliances. That is according to Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Timothy Harris, who with other government officials welcomed His Excellency Maduro to the Federation yesterday during a ceremony at the Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport. President Maduro made the visit in a quest to strengthen ties of cooperation and solidarity. Prime Minister Harris said his government is proud that the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela is among some of the Federation's most time-honored international partners. He highlighted the many areas in which the country has benefited from assistance from Venezuela, including the establishment of the Venezuelan Institute, which provides training in the Spanish language and culture in the Federation, as well as assistance in healthcare, education, energy, transportation, agriculture, and housing. One particular aspect that stood out was the contribution made by the Petro-Caribe Agreement. While on St. Kitts, His Excellency Maduro assisted in the symbolic distribution of checks to former sugar workers and their families and signed a memorandum of understanding regarding bilateral cooperation in a number of developmental areas, including housing, infrastructure, law and order, education and training, agriculture, health, energy, and technical assistance. Deputy Premier and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Mark Brantley, was yesterday invited to the site of the Paradise Palm Resort development to see firsthand the progress which has been made since the project's groundbreaking 10 months ago. Minister Brantley was given a tour of the property by General Manager Jason Molly. He noted that one unit is complete while 3 others are nearing completion.
This is our one-bedroom unit that we're in, which is completed. There is still some more minor finishing work to be done, but on the whole we've completed. This was built by a Nevis crew, and we're very happy with the work that has been completed, and we are ready to start showing this to customers around the world. Our construction is on schedule. We started on phase 1 with the completion of 4 units, and we're now preparing to sell these units. One of them has already been sold. And so we are making progress, but as we all know, there have been some market challenges. Our expectation is to keep pushing ahead, and we hope to have this building occupied by the spring of 2016.
Molly says the company is continually attracted to Nevis and believes it offers a wonderful product.
The people of Nevis provide a very welcoming environment, and we have a beautiful location here with a beautiful product. And our whole objective is to provide relaxed Caribbean living, and we believe we'll provide that. The project currently, right now, is a 218-room resort, full-service resort, which includes central facilities such as gym, 2 restaurants, a spa. We have a market going in as well. So our expectation is that we also have all the laundry services and gardening that will be required to run the resort. So our expectation is that it'll employ a good number of people. Our expectation is to continue with phase 2, which is the building of additional units and infrastructure such as reception areas, and we expect to commence this work at the end of 2015, early 2016.
Director Charlie Platt used yesterday's tour as an opportunity to interview Minister Brantley for a roadshow about Paradise Palms, which will, as early as next month, be aired in the Middle East and China.
Part of the questions that are being asked and we're hoping to answer are the progress that's been made at the CIU, such as processing, how quickly our application is being processed, what is the expectation, what are the requirements, and how has the general program been improved under the new administration. And with this video, we expect to take it to the market and demonstrate to everyone the good progress that's been made. The roadshow will commence in October and November this year. So our objective is to get out and spread the good news about the progress we've made here at Paradise Palms and the progress that the CIU have made in processing applications and letting everyone know that we're open for business.
Meantime, Minister Brantley said he is pleased that the Nevision public can get a sense of the progress of the project.
We have now here a 1-bedroom completed unit. I like the fact that it is very modern, but at the same time it's all done from renewable materials, all wood and wood products, and so for us it also ties in with our vision of Nevis, which is being green, being sustainable, and for us that's very important. I really do like what I have and what I've seen here in terms of the luxury, in terms of the standard that is being set. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing so far, and I suppose from a tourism point of view, we're also quite pleased. We would hope that ultimately when this is finished that the various units are available for rental, so that we'll add some room stock to our tourism product. But I think this is a type of quality that we're looking for on the island. The level of luxury is what we would like to see. And I'm very pleased as we came in to see the number of people who are here working, the construction workers, and I'm sure all the other equipment operators and others who would have been employed on this project.
On completion, Paradise Palms will offer 1, 2, and 6 bedroom units. Still to come,
these workshops are targeted towards the entire civil service.
We'll have the details after this break. Welcome back.
We have assigned some acreage of lands along the Port Road to Omni Global for purposes of the waste-to-energy plant itself and for the solar plant. And I'm reliably advised that the solar plant is going to start very soon. And so we would expect not only to see the trucks now traversing the roads of Nevis and picking up the trash from all of us, but also to see in very short order that the plant itself is going to start. The solar aspect of it, I gather, is the first phase, and then the waste to energy.
Minister of Health, the Honourable Mark Brantley, speaking at last week's handing over ceremony of 2 new Kenworth 2016 garbage collection trucks sponsored by Omni Global. He said the island will in the very near future have a waste to energy and a solar plant undertaken by Omni Global, which will benefit the entire island while also beautifying it in the process. In delivering brief remarks at the handing over ceremony at the landfill in Long Point, Minister Brantley noted that a proper waste management solution is of utmost importance.
Most of us, when we throw a can or we throw a bottle into the garbage, we really forget about it. We don't think, well, what happens to that can or that carton or that plastic? What happens to it after that? Once the truck comes and picks it up, we forget about it. Well, we in government can't afford to forget about it, because obviously when the landfill overflows, we start to get things going into the ocean, and all the things that we pride ourselves on are the very things that can be at risk if we don't have a proper waste management solution. And so I want to see, and want you to see, and urge you to see this waste to energy deal as not just a mechanism to generate electricity. I know some would focus on the electricity and the cost of that electricity, etc. That is one component of it. But for me, what was most critical is that it provided for the island of Nevis a waste management solution.
Brantley also outlined the benefits of the waste-to-energy plant to the island.
The waste-to-energy plant allows us additional supplies of renewable energy, green energy, without burning any fossil fuels. And then the waste-to-energy plant similarly allows us a waste management solution to allow you, when you throw out your bottles and everything else that you go out, the trucks pick them up, and then the waste-to-energy plant disposes of them and transforms them into something. And I'm told that this can be done at minimal, if any, impact on our natural environment. And so, for me, it's a win-win-win situation.
Minister of Health in the Nevis Island Administration, the Honourable Mark Brantley. The Nevis Island Administration's Human Resources Department will soon commence its hosting of a series of open enrollment workshops to improve the service quality to the general public. Training officer in the Human Resources Department, Kamara Lee, outlined towards whom the workshops would be geared.
The first one is scheduled to commence as early as October 13th. These workshops are targeted towards the entire civil service, where we are providing a number of training workshops to equip the persons of the civil service with the necessary skills that they need or require to complete their day-to-day duties.
Lee said what the workshops would entail and the dates for the workshops.
These workshops include understanding the public service. This one will be held on October 13th, and this one is targeted to the supervisors. We also have computer skills training, and that one will be done in 3 parts. Part 1, basic competency skills. Part 2, end user cybersecurity workshop. Part 3, presentation skills, working with PowerPoint. We also have customer service excellence, effective writing for clerical officers, and more. These workshops will run from October of this year to May 2016, and at that point we will design a new set of training workshops to continue the training to the public servants.
A list of the various workshop dates and the topics would be posted in each department, and interested persons can register by notifying their heads of departments. A new workshop will commence every month and will cover several other topics relevant to improving the quality of the public service. Upon completion, persons would be presented with a certificate of participation. A number of agricultural science students were yesterday participating in a workshop on pesticide safety. The workshop was held as one of the activities to mark this week's observance of Pesticide Awareness Week in the Caribbean. This year's theme is Protect Children from Pesticides. Chairing the workshop's opening ceremony, Director of the Department of Agriculture, Keith Lee Amri, called on adults to practice safe pesticide use and educate children on the dangers of pesticides.
Children are more susceptible, more at risk to the dangers of exposure than adults. Therefore, we do need to protect our children. The reason being, their bodies are not fully developed. They are not capable of breaking down the chemicals that they are exposed to. And these chemicals can accumulate in their bodies, leading to respiratory disease as well as neurological problems. Children on a whole cannot assess the risk they face. They may see chemicals and think it's something to drink or something to eat. They themselves may not be able to read or can understand the label. Thus, it is very essential that we do our best to prevent and reduce exposing our children to pesticides. In our homes, the pesticides that we use regularly around our homes, the label says, please keep out the reach of children. Kindly do that.
He also had some advice for farmers.
When applying or preparing pesticides, it's very important that we do not have our children around.
The workshop was sponsored by the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla Trading and Development Company, TDC, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, AICA, and the Pesticide and Toxichemical Board of St. Kitts and Nevis.
We, of course, are the agents and representatives for Caribbean Chemicals here on Nevis. On behalf of the management, the staff, and all of us at TDC, we want to say again thank you for the opportunity to be associated with this event, and I trust that it will be a very fruitful and productive workshop today. And thank the three folks from Trinidad. They've journeyed quite some ways away. I understand that we had a similar workshop on St. Kitts yesterday. So it's not just in Nevis, but we are trying to ensure that the proper use of these chemicals, that word is spread across and throughout the Federation, because I think it redounds to the good of all of us at the end of the day.
Managing Director of TDC Nevis, Ernie France, Augustine Merchant, who addressed the ceremony in his dual capacity as AICA representative and a member of the Pesticide and Toxichemical Board, said the workshop was geared towards the students.
This simple story is that pesticide poison. And so we do not want you to get in a situation where you have to suffer some illness because of abuse of pesticide. So we are hoping that through this workshop you'll be able to at least derive a certain amount of knowledge to prevent that. Now, as we know, pesticide, you could take it in through your mouth, your hands, and quite a number of parts of your body. And so you have to realize that sitting in a room, even the simple bop, spraying the bop around, that is not good news. Having rat poison all over the floor, that again is not good news. We have to be very, very, very careful with pesticide.
The Pesticide Safety Workshop came 4 days ahead of the September 27th observance of Pesticide Awareness Day.